All right, so before we proceed, I would want us to listen to this.
Manchester United in 14th. This isn't a new topic, but it's one that seems to change a lot by the week. What's the latest on the job status of Ruben Amorim?
Ruben Amorim is under major pressure, but I think most of that pressure is applied on him by himself, as well as the burden of being Manchester United manager. But Manchester United themselves, as I understand it, they're not planning to sack him. They don't want or intend to. And I don't think he's planning to walk away from this. Last season, I think he really felt the strain. And people I speak to says he was questioning whether he could succeed there. But I do think sort of incrementally, there is a bit of improvement felt, however small, so far this season, especially with some of the new signings, and it is still very early. But Sir Jim Ratcliffe, as minority owner but with sporting control, is at the heart of this. He's heavily involved. Omar Barada as chief executive, Jason Wilcox as technical director, essentially the sporting director. There's a lot riding on this decision for them because they essentially appointed him and have placed great faith in him and his system. Results will need to improve. We can't get away from that, and we know how this industry operates. But I think they would like to give him more time. There's no guarantee by any means that if they lose against Sunderland that they would sack him. And in fact, I don't think they would, as long as it wasn't too severe. They've got some games after the international break and before the November international break that maybe would be a truer test. Of course, it would be expensive to get rid of him, but I don't think money will be at the heart of this decision. It will be based on what they're seeing from a football perspective. People have talked about shortlists. I don't know if there being a shortlist to replace him. Of course, Man United will always be looking at options like every club and aware of the market, whether it be on an interim basis, a longer term, or even after the World Cup in the summer of 2026. But I'm assured that Gareth Southgate is not in the frame for the Manchester United job should it become available. The players, as far as I know, are mainly with him. They believe in what he's doing, but there's an acceptance that when they concede a goal, for example, they're not any longer doing what they've been set up to do by him. And maybe it's a bit of a psychological and mental issue. There was huge speculation about the system that he's playing. I don't think that's seen as the core issue. More the need for a number 6, which was perhaps more pressing than the number 9 in the summer, and it will remain on the agenda going forward. What's happening with Kobbie Mainoo? That's maybe one to watch for January. The goalkeeping situation, we haven't seen Senna Lamans just yet. So there is a lot going on in this situation at Manchester United. While the likes of Højlund doing well at Napoli and Antony at Betis don't make it easy for United. They need to get winning quickly. So does Amorim starting tomorrow.
Okay, now I am sure you guys have heard it from the horse's mouth. There are two personalities in the world of football that you should listen to. The first person is Fabrizio, and the second person is David Austin. And the reason why I prefer David Austin is that we that are Premier League faithfuls, right? We love following the Premier League football, right? We would want to get our information from David Austin because he's closer to the EPL. Very, very closer to the EPL. So whichever information he dishes out there, you should know that those informations are legit. It doesn't just talk for talking sake, right? He talks and say the way it is. And when you decide to do your own background check, you will discover that whatever he has told you is actually the real truth and nothing but the truth. Let me also, sound this as a note of warning to a lot of United faithfuls. If you're a Man United fan, you should be able to understand the club you're fanning. Manchester United is not like Chelsea. We're not like Liverpool. We're not like Barcelona. Man United, we're not like Real Madrid, right? United is a unique club. And the reason why this club is unique is because of the level of pressure that comes from the media, from other rival fan base. Now, Ruben Amorim's job is at stake, right? His job is obviously at stake. We understand, right? From what the media has made us to believe, that Amorim has always been the problem of this club. 3-4-3 he has been playing, the formation he has been playing does not favor Manchester United. They said the Man United players do not have the capacity to play 3-4-3. They said Man United players do not have the energy to run the pitch. They said Man United players do not have what it takes to sustain such a philosophy. And I asked this simple question. Before we sacked Erik ten Hag, what formation was he playing? I could remember when Erik ten Hag came to United, very new, like in his first season. He started with his own formation. We lost 2 games straight. And people were clamoring for him to change it, especially Man United fans. They were like, these players cannot play this formation. These players cannot do this. These players cannot do that. They cannot do the basics. Sell them or change the formation. Ten Hag decided to bench Ronaldo because he said he doesn't press. Benched Harry Maguire because he said he had a lot of mistakes in his games. Benching these players he changed his formation from his own philosophy to what he believed in right now, to what he was playing before he got sacked. And guess what? We got temporary results. We only got temporary results. And guess what? Even in the midst of those results, we are also seeing glimpses of those mistakes that we are trying to avoid. Ten Hag stayed in that job, changing formations upon formations upon formations until when we sacked him. Before Man United signed Ruben Amorim, let me make this very clear, because I believe so many Man United fans were just passerbys online, right? We're just answering fans for fans' sake. Before Man United signed Ruben Amorim, he told them specifically that I am coming to this club to play 3-4-3 formation. And the board agreed. They know exactly what he's coming to do. And they said, no problem, come and play. He told them that on no account is he going to change this formation. That's why when you hear him talk, even after losing a match, he said, if you want to change the system, then start by changing the head. He said it to them. He said it in the media. He knew exactly the agreement he reached with Man United board before they told him to come. He told them, I want to stay and wait till the end of the season so that I can come and train with these boys. They said it is either now or never. Ruben Amorim came to Man United and he started poorly. You can't tell me he started well. He started poorly. On a normal ground, if United were to have a different coach that is not Ruben Amorim, and maybe some of these things I'm telling you was not reached before he got signed, right, would have sacked him. Why? Because the results that we are getting right now is even poorer than the result that people who've sacked in the previous years has been getting. Right? Imagine having 19 losses, 12 draws, and 18 wins since he became United manager. And people were saying he's going to get sacked on Saturday against Sunderland. Whether he wins that match or loses that match, he's going to get sacked. Thank God you heard it from David Austin right now. He said it, that the pressure Amorim is facing is not even from the board. The pressure he's facing, yes, they know that the pattern of play needs to improve. The pressure he's facing is not even from the board. The pressure is from Amorim himself. If you watch Amorim's body language anytime Man United is playing games, you need to notice that there is something this guy wants from these players that he's not getting. Sometimes they make silly mistakes and Amorim will literally just wave his head like this. They will score goals, he won't celebrate it because there is something he's looking for that these players are not giving to him. And you can't tell me it is formation issue. It can never be formation. It can't. What are we saying? We gave Eric Ten Hag money to sign players that will play in his formation. He signed those players and they couldn't play. So what are we saying? So the best thing we can do right now as United fans is to give Amorim time. Amorim deserves to have time. He needs time to be able to implement his philosophy. And one of the things I love about this guy is that he's one person who believes so much in his philosophy. You barely find such coaches right now. You're telling him to change the formation. I've always asked Man United fan, change it to what? You said you should change this formation. Change it to what? So, anytime we win games, it is the formation is not the problem. But whenever we lose these games, formation becomes an issue. People start making reference to Man United formation or pattern of play. So guys, I would urge us to give Amorim time. Because whether we like it or not, the board know exactly what he's coming to play before they signed him. It was an agreement he reached with the board. If we like complaints from today to tomorrow, it will not change a thing. The board wanted a different pattern of play. That's why they signed Amorim. And so far, the players he has bought, they are not doing badly. Kunha, yes, I understand. Mbemo is doing very well. Dogu is doing extremely well. Sesko is putting on the shift. So what are we saying? Amorim needs time. If we keep hiring and firing managers like this, to be honest, we're not going to get to that point where we want to get to. And I want us to understand that the peak of what we need right now is to settle down and allow Amorim to do his job. Why? Because if Amorim is given the ability to carry this team, right, to like three seasons in a row, right, and the result doesn't improve, we can come here and call him out to be sacked. But in his first season, coming from a disastrous managerial job that Ten Hag did, and you want him to come and do miracle, even Pep cannot do any miracle. Given the financial constraint that is currently going on in Man United. No, it's unnecessary pressure. You can man this pressure from today to tomorrow. If the board has not decided to sack Amorim, you can talk from now to next year. Amorim is still not going to get sacked. So he needs time. And I'm one person as I've always advocated that Amorim needs time. Let us give him time. Let us give him time. A day is going to come when we'll all sit back and we'll be happy, we'll be excited that we gave Amorim that time that he deserves. Let's give him time and see what happens. For me, I've always said this. Amorim has 2-3 years to spend at Man United. 1 year is gone already. We have 2 more years to go. So give him time. I know one thing, and I know that United will not relegate. We won't relegate, but give him time. Let him build his system.